Welcome to you, sir. I now request, sir, to shower his blessing in form of his treasured words.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Rgpv, I just congratulate the chairman of the group and as well as group director Puneet Dwivedi ji for hosting this kind of webinar, which is one of its first kind as far as the MP is concerned. Because as you are suggesting that this is the first program in management as well as the pharma is concerned, and that we are starting in this university. I also welcome Dr. Pramod Kumar ji, Sanjay Sinha ji, VK Gupta Sahab, GT Gupta Sahab, Rajput, and all the faculty members who are associated and are attending this particular webinar. I would like to start with the fact that 1.5 years we have lost in pandemic, and with great learnings. Therein, the issue of managing the pharma industry itself has come up in a big way, that too internationally. Anybody can appreciate the aspect of management which has come up during the pandemic period, wherein we were struggling with the supplies of drugs without knowing the efficacy of each drug. Then establishing the supply chain of oxygen cylinders, then ensuring beds in medical, then forecasting the number of likely patients in a city or in a country, and what's not. Every sort of problem we have suffered, and therein we have felt like anything that there should be a management cadre to look into these kind of issues with which we have gone through. And I will pray the God in future, either we should be well prepared or that kind of time should not repeat itself. But definitely the preparation is much more needed. And that's my personal perception that the kind of technologies which we are having as of now, if you talk about data analytics or artificial intelligence or machine learning, these are kind of tools are required in each branch of study actually, in fact, and in pharma industry also. And you can appreciate this aspect that if we were having the kind of management expertise which is really required to counter this kind of thing, well equipped with the concept of AI and data analytics, we could have dealt with this kind of problem in much more effective and efficient manner. Because if you remember, the government was always telling we have no dearth as far as the drugs are concerned, we have no problem as far as the oxygen supply is concerned, we have no issue with the number of beds available. The problem was of logistics only. Wherever you were having the oxygen cylinder, there the oxygen was not needed. Where the oxygen was needed, you were not having that oxygen, and likewise. So was with the drugs. It means that in future also, we are going to have these kind of managerial issues, and the pharma industry has to deal with it. And it is already, I am seeing that in case of corona, number of vaccines are now coming up. And the time will tell which particular vaccine is being treated as the most efficient one, or which finds the market, global market. And it is quite probable that few of the vaccine may not see even the market. That kind of glut situation may also occur, wherein everybody is making a vaccine for corona or the drugs for the corona. So, so definitely a company which is working for some kind of medicine, and everybody knows there's a lot of resources, human resources in terms of man-hour, and as well as in terms of the funds also. Millions and billions of rupees goes into these kind of development. And finally, when you come up with a product and you find that there are no takers for the same, nothing bad and worse can be presumed or assumed in such situations. It means a lot more studies are required, a lot more management is required, a lot more interaction between academia and industry is required. And I think the kind of course which you are trying to offer in the name of pharmaceutical management may fill up that particular gap. And it may do wonder for the hospital and the pharma industry in particular. That's my personal feeling. But before designing the curricula and the kind of teaching learning which is really required for this particular type of course, is to be well thought of, and it should be discussed with the captains of the industry also. Because unless otherwise you equip them with the kind of expertise which is really required for becoming a successful manager in the pharma industry, you have to understand the problems and the requirements of pharma industry itself. So I am very pleased to see that some industry captains are already here from certain companies, and they are well represented in this particular webinar, and they will be in position to tell you their own requirement while designing this particular kind of management course. And I really congratulate modern group of institutions for thinking about this kind of program, and finally they are launching this program also with the help of industry. And this is my sincere hope that this will fill up that particular gap of knowledge which is really required between management and the pharma industry. So thank you very much for inviting me and for inaugurating for the inauguration purpose of this webinar, and I hope this will fulfill the kind of objective with which it has been thought of. So I'll be fulfilled by this particular webinar, and I personally give my blessings as well as extend my best wishes for each and everyone whosoever is related or connected in organizing this particular webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.